Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Group is there.
Good evening, sir.
Okay. How are you all?
Fine, sir.
Fine, sir.
Fine. See, day first, you people were, I think, 32. Attendance is day by day is going decrease. Today is right now, including me and host, 18 are there. Okay, some will join later on. Okay, what I discussed yesterday that this MES-085 is very compulsory and important component of your program in which you have to submit some reports, some study based on observation and questionnaire. And yesterday we have discussed block 1 and there were 8 activities and from 8 you have to choose 2 activities and that is on the behavior of the child. Today we will learn something new. There are many activities in block number 2 and one by one we will discuss. Slides is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So today is block 2. In block 2, knowing the learner, use of advanced method and techniques. Means in this block 2, there are units. If I see first slide, then 4 case studies are there and you have to choose any one. First case study is recording the language development of a selected child and that too the age group of child should be 2 to 6 years and that activity will take 2 months. The second case study may be study the emotional development and social adjustment of selected child over a period of 2 months. In the second case, age group is not there, but you have to choose that is predefined age is 3 to 6 years. Case study 3 in unit number 3, study of physical development of a selected child over a period of 2 months. Means what are the indices you have observed and you have to point out and give your observation as a final result. Unit number 4, that is case study 4, case study of maladjusted child or problem child or child suffering from mental or physical handicap over a period of 2 months. Means in case study 4 there are options are given. You may take maladjusted child, you may take problematic child, you may take the child who is suffering from mental or physical handicap. So there are four case studies. Options are more. You have to choose any one. You may choose case study 1, you may choose case study 2 as per your choice, as per your interest area, and as per the availability of child. Next, so what we have to do actually, this is unit number 1, and the case study is recording the language development of a selected child of the age group 2 to 6 year and for over 2 months. The aim of study is given to study the language development of a preschooler over 2 months. There are certain objectives, and under these objectives, you have to do your study. The first objective is to learn how the child develop language, to record the language development of a selected child between 2 to 6 year old with regard to its clarity. Clarity means voice, sentence constructions, and vocabulary also. Third is to study the child ability to communicate verbally, ability to tell stories, and pronunciation or sound of the speech. So these are the three objectives. On these objectives, you have to do your study. There are certain guidelines. Within these guidelines, you have to collect your data and you have to set your objectives. You have to take the child. So first guideline is you show more freely with the child and observe him or her with respect to the way he and she is communicating with peer group, with family members, even with the environment, social environment. Record the clarity of words and how it improve over the day. Means day by day you have to list out, you have to write down the points regarding the clarity of word. Observe and record the subject's ability to construct sentences correctly over the days. Means the child is able to combine the subject, 2 or 3 subjects, and he is able to make some sentence. And development in this particular ability you have to write down. Not how the child vocabulary has improved during the period of study. Means each and every step you have to note down because it is a very long activity. This activity will take 2 months. Observe the record, the child's ability to tell stories, its pronunciation and sound. And the sixth guideline is record your observation in the form of given below. The format is given and it will be very helpful for you to write your observation and result also. So it is very clear and obvious as you have learned yesterday. First, write the name of child, age and gender of the child, name of the observer, date on which date you have performed or from which date you have to started your activity. Time, venue may be the classroom or home of the child. So period observation you have to give very specifically. First is expression. First component or first important criteria and first tool, what you say, that is expression. Expression is also having some sub topics, that is uses mainly gestures only. Means if you ask any questions to the child, if he or she is just giving gesture only to write the observation, means factual what you have observed, and even you can write your opinion and your impression. Speak in word, speak in sentences, talks freely, talks only when he wants something. Sometime as a motivate, as a reinforcement, you give the child some attractive or some sweets also and some even chocolate. Otherwise, he always refused to answer your question. Talk only, ask many questions. If you ask many questions at the same time, then what is the observation of the teacher in respect to many questions are being with the child? And what is the tone of the child? Means is it loud, average, or soft? So you have to write your observation in this particular blank space, and you may write your specific opinion and impression, or you may write even suggestions also. So next, the second parameter is fluency. Fluency is also having three subcomponent. First is speed. What is the speed of child? Is it very fast or average or slow? First you write to observation here, and particular opinion mean why he is so speedy, why he or she is so average, and why he or she is slow. You can write your opinion. Clarity, clarity of speech means whether it is understandable to the others or teachers or parents or other family members, and appropriateness of words and correct speech. So you, as a teacher, as a researcher, as a um, as a mentor, you have to write your observation followed with your specific opinion. So next parameter is speech errors and defects, whether the child is repeating the words, he or she is using nonsense syllabus and fumble forward, or he or she is using kind of murmuring or using baby speech means in the specific tone of the very small child, has difficulties in pronouncing specific subject, specific sounds, specific word. Sometimes the child is not able to pronounce particular words, lips and stammers. So these are the criteria, and you have to write your observation based on the um, child activities. Content of speech, that is also having some component, means first is usage and second is size of vocabulary. Usage means whether he or she means child is using proper verbs, proper nouns, proper adjectives, pronouns, adverb, prepositions, conjugations, specific vocabulary. If he or she is not able to use these particular things, then you may write your opinion and your comments. Yes. And the next parameter is writing. Means whether child is able to write word properly or he is facing any problems and any difficulties. You can write as a your observation and as well as your suggestions. And based on all activities given in this format, you have to write the complete global comments of teacher in the given specific areas. Whatever you have observed for 2 months of period, write there with your suggestions, with your feedback. So this is about first activity, recording of the language development of selected child over a 2 months. So next is study of emotional development and social adjustment of a selected child over a period of 2 months. ये भी आपको that you have to observe the child for 2 months, and in this particular activity you have to study the emotional development and social adjustment of the child. So aim is there to study the emotional development and social adjustment of selected child over the period of 2 months. And for to achieve this aim, there are two objectives: to study the level of understanding of emotions such as love, trust, anger, fear, joy, jealousy, and affections for others. The second objective is to understand how well the child can adjust in social environment. And these two objectives you have to obtain within the guidelines. The first guideline is observe the selected child emotional behavior and how they express them. Means what are the emotional behavior and how they express these emotional behaviors. Record the different emotional behaviors shown in the form. The form is given below. Observe how the child adjusts in varying social improvement, social environment. Record your observation in the given format. So format is given and it is more or less similar. Name of the child, age, gender, name of observer, date, time, situations. Means in which situation he has collected the data, he or she has collected the data. You have to write the situations. Means this, that may be the learner is happy when you obtain the data, and learner may kind in the shadow stage, or he or she may have other impression. So you have to write the situations also. And there are some aspects. On these aspects, as a researcher you have to observe whatever you have observed in factual mode, and you have also write your impression as well as your opinion. So first is express emotions freely, no emotions expressed. So restrain emotional behavior, because when you observe the child, that may be the time that child does not express any emotions. So you write no emotions there, and even opinion that at that time child may be kind of worry, kind may be the even some he or she may some mental trauma, that may be the highest position, but he or she may having some other stages like he or she is not happy. Next is emotions outburst. There is a note is given: the stimulus, duration, intensity, shift, frequency, manner or expression of each of the following emotions. You have to observe whether child is in joy or pleasure or delight, affection towards other child, teachers, towards other adults, towards self, towards animals, or any other. Fear, if the child is facing a child is you observe the child is having fear, fearing with strangers, animals, objects, being alone, dark places, any other. So you have to write observation on these points, and for that you have to create even situation also. Means you take the child in dark room, you can take the child with the animals, you can take the child with some objects. Otherwise, how you will observe your this parameter? D is anger, jealousy, hostility, and sorrow and or grief. So observe and write in the specified and given blank space, even with your opinions. Third is emotional dependence of the family, crisis when he and uh, she arrives in the school, does not mix with others. That may be the quality of the child. Ask for parents, want to go to home, talk about home, always talk about home. So note down or jot down the emotional dependence of the family on the family of child. Emotional dependence on the teacher that you may observe in the classroom means cling to the teachers, trying to the teachers, always wants teachers' attention. There may be the child and he or she always wants the attentions of teacher, want to sit close to her or near to the teacher. So observe and write in the given space. Finally, which are the child's strong emotions that you can write freely based on your observation along with your suggestions and improvements. So whatever you have observed during 2 months as far as the emotional development, social adjustment of child is concerned, write complete paragraph based on observation and your opinion also. So this is about your unit 2. This is the second activity. Next. This is the third activity. Sorry, it is a continuation. It is in continuation. This is form basically that you have to attach with this activity. And as far as social adjustment is concerned, write the name of child, age, gender, name of observer, date, time, situation, and these are the aspects where you have to observe actually and write your opinion. So basically these formats may very helpful for you for completing your project or your activity. And in yesterday I have already discussed in detail then in which block how much activity that you have to complete to get uh, successful in your this particular course, that is MES-085. So these are the some parameters. There are 13 parameters. Means first is recognize others, know the difference between boys and girls, prefer to play alone or with friends or imaginary playmates or with children one or two with opposite genders. So these are the situations and write your factual observation. Participate in group means that may be the game or any other play activity and write their behavior and their social adjustment in this particular situation. Group leader and follower in game, whether he or she is framing himself or herself as a group leader or follower, has the child has sense of humor, help and cooperation. So it has also 5 parameters means take turns, share his things, eatable, toys, etc. Does things for others, is able to submerge one's wish to the group, help the cooperate with adults or other children's. Even friendliness is there, whether the child is friendly with all, friendly with one or only two, friendly with none, and persist with the same friend. It, if I talk the competition, then wants to excel, wants to do better than any other child. Rivalry, rivalry is uh, hostile towards other children or adults. Aggression means the child is quarrel or bullies or hits or bites. And this negativism, the child may have the tendency to say no for each and every task, or he may obstinate and stubborn, or he or she may pretend not to hear. Selfishness, whether the child does not want to share or he is eager to share. So this is the format regarding social adjustment. In continuation of social adjustment, the next is whether the child is brave, and brave in what situation? In meeting new situations, doing things which involve certain amount of risk, or any other. Admires or appreciate nice things, respect properly and rules, independence, and one is take initiatives, whether the child is able to take initiatives or offer suggestions to do the things, or can lead the group. Whether the child is responsible or not, means does that duty is assigned to him or her. Needs attention, means the child seeks approval, attention, affections from the teacher, from other children's. He needs attention. Has good manners and habits, whether the child has good manner and habit on table manner, courtesy, cleanliness, punctuality, or day-to-day needed uh, habits like toilet habits, etc. As far as social acceptance, whether child is able to acceptable for uh, other children, or child acceptance is popular. So based on this format, you have to write your opinion, suggestions, and feedback in a crisp manner for further evaluation. Yeah. So this is about your unit third. This is unit third, means study or activities 3. Study of the physical development indices of a selected child over a period of 2 months. Means one thing is very clear, then you have to observe the child for 3 months, whatever activity you choose. So aim is there to study the physical development indices of a selected child over a period of 2 months. And there are three objectives. One is to measure the weight of the child over a period of 2 months. You may take the intervals. That may be the week, that may be the fortnight, even that may be the uh, as per criteria taken by you. So there is a freedom to you to find the height of the child. For that, you may also have kind of interval. As discussed, that interval may be weekly or fortnightly or monthly. It would be better if you take the period at least weekly. so that you may be able to know the development of the child in terms of weight, in terms of height or physical development. To find out the physical indices means weight and height ratio of the kid, you will calculate. You have to calculate the ratio of weight and height. So guidelines, the measurement are taken at the same times daily and recorded. Daily is not possible, otherwise it will take, otherwise it will be lengthy. So you may take it as a weekly. Physical development indices are to be found and interpreted and record your observation in the given format. The format is similar. First, you have to write the basic informations of the child: name, age, gender, observer name, date and time, and situations. If any specific situation is there, please write there. If not, then write the normal situation. There are the certain aspects, means one is general physical conditions. What is the general physical conditions? Means what is the height, what is the weight, what is the body build and proportion of the body. Write the factual observation and further write your opinion. Factual, sorry, facial expression means that is desirable, whether the child is happy, sad or serious. You have to write there when you observe the child. Even posture, whether the child is sitting, standing or walking. Gait, even legs straight, strong, bowed or any other position. Next, feet means what is the size of feet and shape, normal or flat. Functional efficiency, fit for shoes, even you can write the shoes number, whether it is one number, two number or three number. Or if the fits increase, then definitely the shape of shoes will be also changed. Arms and hand means what is the size of hand, and handedness are the why clean, effective use, and the nails, whether nails is clean or not, whether it is well cut or not. So these you have to write in your performa. Eyes means vision, bright, dull, or eyes are red or not, or white, watery, or any other. Means you have to the position of eyes, whether the eyes are red. If red, then there may be the some reason. Means child may sick, or child may have some uh, problem in their eyes. Teeth, you have to write about their teeth position, means what are they in the development stage, or regularity means how many time he brushed and how many time he is taking the cleanliness of the teeth or any other activities. Voice, whether voice of the child is normal, harsh, soft or any other what you have observed. Nose, normal, red, running, means if you find the nose is red or running, then definitely you have to write your opinion, then child may suffer with the some cold and some infection. Skin, whether the skin is normal or some specific skin disease found by you have to write there. Ears, hearing and cleanliness and any other trouble. Stamina, does he or she get tired early, and if tired early, then how much time he or she take for tiring. Next, activity level in journal means the child is very active, average or lethargic. You have to write there. Clothing, adequacy, cleanliness and fitness. Physical appearance in general, whether the child is fat, average, thin, or as far as height is concerned, whether it is tall, average, or short. So this is about Form A. Similarly, Form B is there, and there are several aspects. You have to write your observation with your actual impression or opinion. Means some basic skills that you have to understood, that you have to identify, that you have to measure for making the overall report of the child. First is throwing pattern. The throwing of ball means whether he is lefty or handy, and from which distance he is throwing the ball. And so this is about the throwing. Kicking, pattern of kicking, whether he is, keeps the leg backward and forward, and what is the distance, and direct his kick to the right or left, man means whether he is lefty or right. Catching, if you are observing the catching power of the child, pattern means of catching the ball, whether he is using one hand or using two hand, or some child may use their tummy also for catching the ball. Make the required movement to catch, whether she or he is unable to catch the ball or not. Standing position also, time for which he or she can stand on one foot, time for which he or she can stand with feet across, and erase ease, and the position where he is feeling ease with which he stand on one foot or crossed feet. So write observation with your impression and opinion. In continuation of this format, walking position, running activity, skipping, hopping, and jumping. So these are the things that is in written black and white. Just you have to observe and make your opinion and suggestions. Now one more, large muscles coordination or finer muscle coordination. If you find any of this, then you may write your observation and comments. Overall, for format B, you have to write your general remark about the physical development of the child and over for 2 month period. Means whatever you have observed and whatever is your suggestion and opinions, you have to write in this particular format. Unit 4 is case study of maladjusted child or a problematic child or having some mental or physical handicap. So this is the activity 4. Aim is given to study the maladjusted child, problem child, child suffering from mentally or physically handicapped child, and that activity also takes 2 months. Objectives are 6: to gather the data regarding the case, to identify the root cause for the case, to study and interpret the data collected, whatever data you have to collect it, to make suggestions based on data collected, suggestions as well as remedial measures, recommend the best solutions for the issue or case, and to implement the recommended solutions in your classroom. Guidelines are there, means the researcher have to gather information regarding the subject and the problems related to the child. Interpret the data and find out the remedial measures. The teacher may recommend the best solutions for the particular issue, whatever you are taking for the study, and implement the recommended solutions in the classroom, and evaluate what change you have observed by uh, using your recommendations or remedials or suggestions, whatever you have find out based on this particular activity. So case study format is there, means write the name of child, age, period of the study. Period of the study is, that is 2 months, and report means first you have to collect the data. Collect the data means First, you have to choose the child, whether the child is maladjusted child or problematic child or mentally or physically handicapped, and write the important things in this given space. Second is the root cause of the problem. Whatever you have observed by consultation with their parents, with their teachers, with their peer groups, with the society, try to understand if whatever case you have taken, what is the root cause of the problem from which the child is suffering. And analysis, do the analysis based on the observations and identification of root cause of the problem, and further interpretation is also required, and based on analysis write some best solutions, and then you use these best solutions for your classroom teaching, for your classroom adjustment, for the better improvement in terms of social, mental and physical aspects. Next, evaluation. You have to write whatever change you have observed, whether by using your recommendations there is a positive improvement in the child outcomes. That outcomes may be in the form of learning, in the form of their various activities, and write the general opinion about your case study, whatever you have taken for 2 months. So this is the case study unit 4. So this was your block 2. Now after 1 and 30 second, I am taking some examples how the teachers are taking this activity and how they are writing the activities for the completion of your project. Just wait for a minute. Okay, so I am just sharing one slide for you, just reminding that what we have to do for completion of block 2 activities. If you see this chart, as I discussed yesterday in detail, today we have discussed the block number 2, and there are 4 units, but you have to choose only one activity. 4 activity we have discussed, but you have to choose only one activity, means very simple activity are there. But although these activities having good time to complete the activity, means 2 months is required to complete your activity. So now I am sharing how your friends who has completed this particular program, how they have completed their project. Just a minute. Yes. Why I am sharing the previous work? Because you may be aware that how you have to do these activities. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is block 2. The topic was knowing the learners and use of advanced method and techniques, and in which you have to take one activity, and that may take 2 months. I don't know the name of child. He and she has taken this activity. Unit 4 means there are 4 units we have discussed. He and she has taken unit 4 and written the case. Unit 4 was the case study. Investigator name, date when he and she performed. Problem was the what was the problem? That was the malfunction. Detail of the child, name of the child, date of birth, gender, problem from which the child was suffering, and the general detail what was the father's name, occupation, mother's name, mother's occupation. Although this was not the part of format, but he and she added some information to get it more understandable or more reliable. History of the child you have to write in the introduction part. History of the child means she has written that the child was formed from normally like any other child, but later she had become a special child become because of her health issues. At the age of 3 months, she had some this is the disease due to which her growth got delayed, and doctors identified her problems as a global development delay, and parents also happened to notice this as the child was not meeting any development. So present problems the researcher has noted down, and whatever the treatment and whatever the development taken by the family members and what is the interference of the teachers, she has written all. So learning point, she has identified some important thing that she has written that pregnancy motherhood is a very beautiful and happy memorable period for the woman, utmost care of the child. So she has given the even the periods and precautions the researcher has taken based on her opinion or suggestions or impressions. The researcher has written some precautions. One, two, three, four, five, six. These are the precautions. I should not read one by one because it is different and as per your object, whatever you are taking. So this is very small activity. Only 5 to 6 pages are required, or it has only one credit. And second, one of another students also taken some activities. He or she has also taken unit 4, means this student also has taken this case study. No, he has taken unit first, means column 1. That is regarding the language development of the selected child. So he or she has also written some basic information of the child, time of the activity, and age of the child. And even this may be the second learner, 12 to 18 months. What here particularly observed. So means there is a format, and in the given format you have to write your observation as well as suggestions and your impressions. This is my observation. This second learner is not written his or her project in a good manner. This is the third example. Knowing the learner, this learner has taken unit 3, name of the child, age of the child, gender of the child, observer name. Her name is Kiran Bala, and date when she performed activity, and time. Yeah, this is good. Why it is good? Because she has taken a particular format. And as I discussed, the format will be very helpful for completing your project or as well as activity. So she has written very correctly, means factual information. General physical, maybe the good, even height. She has taken 33, weight she has taken, and even the researcher impression and opinions, means his body, uh, his height and weight is normal as usual, because uh, he may correlated this particular data with the BMI, means or age group members, facial expression. So after writing these correct or factual observations, he has written some basic impressions and this opinion based on the this observation. That is good, and there are some basic information about arm and hand, eyes. See what I am talking. If the red is eyes, that child may suffer some disease and some allergy. So that particular child, he has to chosen. His eyes was good, bright. Then she has written observation. His eyes vision is good and looks bright. So that you have to do nothing. Just write to factual things. This is, and after that, after writing all these information of the child, even in the form B, there are two form A and form B, as I shown in my previous slides. And these are the some activity: throwing overhead, 5 to, means the child is throwing the ball 5 to feet, and he is taking kind of front. Okay, so he catch with ball with two hands. Sometimes he take 12 मिनट ही खड़ा हो सकता है वो, वन नहीं सॉरी 1 or 2 minutes he or she can easily stand. So this all information based on the And this is the most important. Whatever she has written based on this observation, the general remarks of the child about physical development of the child body development is good. Something he and she is very good, and in some activity he is average, and overall development is good. So this is you have to do. But my suggestion is that you should use the prescribed format to complete this these activities. So this is about block number two, and from yesterday to next all days we will take very small sessions, because these are the very small sessions and activity related. So if you have any questions, welcome. Otherwise, we will take off the class. Anybody, if have any specific query or suggestions, or any doubts to complete this activity? Akriti Tiwari, do you have any? Should I call by name? Anybody?
Sorry, sir.
Do you have any problem, any issue to complete this activity?
No, sir. This activity is little easy because
Yeah.
guidelines are given. So,
Okay, okay. So my humble suggestion is that please try to be a good researcher. Write in good manner, so that it is not related to mark only. It is uh, as I see in the second activity, that was not at for the level. So it is expected from this uh, active group. You should be different. Okay, thank you. Shall meet tomorrow.
yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.